This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Louisville, Colorado. I'm here with Forces of Nature Design. Since the turn of the century in the year 2000, she has been helping you live in harmony with the natural world. I'm here with Gayla Morrison. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you're an artist, a consultant, past professor, teacher. Those are quite a few titles that you have here, and always continuing more. Let me ask you how it is you got involved in learning about holistic design. I mean, that's not really a career choice that I remember back in high school. How is it that you got involved doing this?
Well, I think it all started when I was in college back in the 70s. I was in art school, and I had a professor that was teaching a whole course on ancient earthworks and contemporary earthworks, like Stonehenge, things like that. And I just became fascinated studying the history of it and how the cultures use these places for different purposes, for ceremonial purposes, for community gatherings, and how these structures, which were basically artworks, changed their lives of the whole community.
And obviously changed your life as well.
It really did.
That is amazing. I mean, I'm sure we can all basically agree and we understand that the environment or our surroundings affect us. Yet, probably most of us don't even understand what that means. I mean, especially to the level that you do, that you understand. Is that kind of what you find with people? We understand it, but really yet we don't know to what degree.
Exactly. Well put. Our environment does affect us. It all comes down to that. And whether it's artwork, whether it's feng shui that I do, whether it's taking people on sacred sites trips, it all has to do with the forces of nature and how these environments affect us. And we are forces of nature. So,
I mean, you yourself, you're able to take really give a fresh perspective to many projects. You're able to pull from different experiences as well as expertise. One of those is an area that I really never even heard of. I mean, I've heard of geometry before, but I have never heard of geomancy, if I explain that correctly. Tell me what that means.
You're not alone. Geomancy. So geomancy is really one of the oldest professions on the planet. And it comes from the word geo, which is earth, and mancy, which is divination or the study of. So it's the study of earth energies.
Wow. So this is, like you said, this is an ancient study, been around for eons of ages, and yet a lot of people don't know about it. So we're talking about different social classes throughout the years have been studying this, many times believing that the earth almost has answers for us. Share with us how dowsing takes place there and what that means to us.
Okay, well, dowsing is basically just intuition. It's our intuition. And dowsing, so people can do body dowsing.
Okay.
And that means you're just sensing something that you're tuning into. And many of us use tools like dowsing rods or pendulums. You've probably seen pictures of the old water witchers that use L rods or even just a branch to look for water. So it's basically detective work and setting your intention on whatever it is you would like to locate, getting yourself in a neutral place, which is really hard when you're attached to something, and going out and finding it, whether it's water, whether it's disturbances in the earth, whether it's an emotional blockage. You can look for anything with dowsing.
When people come to you and they want to learn about this training, do they bring these tools with them?
They can bring their own, or I have them.
Oh, you do provide those as well. I've done many interviews before on acupuncture, which is holistic healing, but I have never heard of earth acupuncture. Share with me a little bit about what that is.
Great. I'm glad you asked that question because that's a lot of what I do. So if you know a little bit about acupuncture, the needles are put in places for a reason to either expand certain energies, open them up, or quiet them down if they're too active. And it's the same with earth energies. Different earth energies come from things like underground faults, underground water, and they'll emit things that are harmful to living things like radiation, magnetic fields, and using things like stones or mineral crystals or copper rods. People use all kinds of things. Big standing stones, that's what the standing stones were used for a lot in the the cultures over in Europe.
I mean, it seems to me that we're always striving to really harmonize with our environment, and many times we do, but when we don't, is there almost kind of a healing that needs to take place between us and the earth many times to bring back that balance?
Absolutely. And hence forces of nature. And part of my passion, a huge part of my passion, is teaching people how to have relationships with their spaces, whether that's nature, the earth,
Fascinating.
the skies, our homes, and to realize that everything is alive and everything came from the earth originally. And to realize that is really powerful. Even a piece of plastic, it's a petroleum product.
That is interesting. I've never even heard that concept before. One of the terms that I'm familiar with, I'm sure our viewers are, and that is what is a sacred space. What do you mean when you say sacred space?
What a big question. Well, there's a couple of different viewpoints on that. And I'll start with just talking about sacred places that we all recognize, that the culture recognizes, places like I mentioned, like Stonehenge and certain cathedrals. These are places where there's earth energy lines, like I was just speaking about,
Sure.
that are very powerful, and they've been recognized for thousands of years, and maybe 5,000, 6,000 years ago, maybe somebody would have built a stone circle there to amplify that energy and to honor it and to use it. So it's a combination of different earth energies and the human honoring of it over thousands and thousands of years, and having a relationship with that. And it helps us recognize the sacred in us, to hang out in these places.
Is a full-service barbershop that caters to men's unique style and personality. Stylists are trained in shaving, haircutting, beard trimming, and designing, shampooing, and styling. Escape into a world of total comfort, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Treat yourself to an experience of a quality haircut, face shaves with a straight razor or safety razor, massage therapy, manicure, pedicure, color, or wax performed by the specially selected Knockouts girls. Indulge yourself with a unique Knockouts cut, style, or other grooming service. Our first-class service includes today's most advanced coloring and hair management techniques and products. Our staff are specially selected and your services are assured. As always, walk-ins are welcome. Don't leave your appearance to just any salon. You deserve the best in men's hair care and grooming. Knockouts, the best place for men's hair care and grooming.
That is amazing. Not only that, but I imagine the energy that we give to a certain area, it kind of strengthens that as well. I would imagine some of these more well-known places, you yourself, be it a design of a residential, a commercial area, small office, large home, we're talking about a certain balance that takes place. Share with us, if you will, the 5 natural principles that kind of guide you as you do something like this.
You may be speaking of the 5 elements,
Yes.
which is a real, basis for acupuncture, for feng shui, for any
That's what I was wondering.
traditional Chinese medicine. And it all comes from the I Ching, which is one of the ancient books called the Book of Changes. The balancing of the 5 elements, it's earth, water, fire, wood, and metal. And it's not necessarily the actual element itself, like a piece of wood or a piece of metal. It's how energy behaves in a space, or how energy behaves in our bodies. So when somebody is doing acupuncture on you and working on your water meridian, it's how that kidney meridian behaves in your body. And it's the same with spaces and certain colors, shapes, the way that architecture is configured, the way the landscape is, it all comes back to one of the 5 elements. So feng shui is basically Chinese geomancy, and it works with the 5 elements. It all goes back to the I Ching, like I said before, and balances these energies and the way they behave in the environment and how they relate to us as humans.
That is amazing. I mean, even walking into the space like here, there's a certain energy, there's a certain feel that people feel, which I think is fascinating. One of the areas of expertise that you do is being able to take an existing space and really change it, cleanse it, transform it, revitalize it, a place that you call a clear. What does that mean exactly?
So, just like us human beings, when we have certain experiences in our life or trauma, it stays there until we release it. And it's really the same with spaces. And this is part of what I try to teach people, that they're alive and that they will hold certain imprints. For example, if you've ever walked into some place where there's been a big fight, you know, some kind of altercation or some really heavy thing had just happened, you can feel it. Even if you didn't witness it, you can feel it. Well, those things stay until they're released and cleared with intention. Gary, I really consider myself an agent of change. I help people change their lives and transform, whether that's even just changing the artwork in their house, taking them to sacred sites, clearing their properties. That's my passion, is helping people change.
That is amazing. I mean, like you say, people walk in rooms so you can cut the tension, you can feel the tension. I mean, many times we're talking about the space itself, not just the people that were there. That is amazing. One of the things, obviously, the environments have a healthy environment, have healthy fields for us. Many times we create unhealthy fields, like that of electromagnetic fields. How are you able to help in that area as well?
Well, I have a meter called a Gauss meter, which I can go into different environments and office buildings and detect whether or not there's electromagnetic interferences causing health problems. Sometimes it's as simple as having an electrician come and check for a leak, plugging the leak. Sometimes it's a matter of moving your computer just even 7 inches further away from you, because the field goes down really quickly in a short amount of space. So it can be really simple.
So you're really able to diagnose these geopathic stresses, decide what they are, and then what do? Are you able to fix them, mitigate them? What happens there?
Yes, oftentimes you can remediate them. Sometimes if they're too huge, not able to be completely 100%, remediated, and I'll like recommend somebody to work in another room or to sleep in another room if it's really bad under their bed. The bedroom is the most important because we spend most of our time there, and we're in a really open, relaxed space when we're in dream state. So we're really susceptible to some of these geopathic stresses. Geopathic is pathology. So there are certain earth energies that cause certain sicknesses or exacerbate things like cancer or all kinds of things.
You're making me think that probably not the best place to have a fight or an argument is in your bedroom then.
For many reasons.
For many reasons. Let me ask you this. All of the designs that you create, be it office space, workspace, home environments, basically we're talking about sustainability. Is this something we're starting to see more and more as we realize the impact that we're able to put on the earth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really, really important. I mean, if you're living in a place, say you move into a new house and they've just put in carpet and painted with, regular paint, that's going to off-gas for up to 5 years.
That's crazy.
There's so many products out there that do not off-gas, or maybe they will for 3 days or something.
Speaking of moving to a new home, if you will, obviously this will help each one of us individually. What about those that actually work with multiple different properties, like that of real estate people? Are you able to help them as well, as far as referring them as well?
As far as referring?
Yeah, as far as real estate professionals out there, are they able to, basically, let's say they have a property that's not really attracting people like it should be. How are you able to help in that area?
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I work with a lot of real estate. Either the real estate agent or the homeowner will call me. If a house has been sitting, first of all, if it's priced right and it looks beautiful, and, for all intents and purposes, it should be selling. Nobody can figure it out. Usually it comes around to some kind of stagnant energy, or more often than not, there's an attachment, an emotional attachment from the homeowner or somebody that has lived in that house that is not willing on some level to let go.
So not only are our eyes looking around, but actually subconsciously probably our feelings are kind of picking up things that we have no idea about.
Right, absolutely.
That is interesting. You basically, your services you provide here, you have from the initial conception of a project through to the design to the actual implementation of it. All the aspects, do they begin with a consultation? And is this something you provide for folks on location, or is this done over the phone?
Well, both, Gary. So I do a lot of remote work also. I can tune in remotely with floor plans and plot plans, and I interview the client. I may have them take a compass direction, and I kind of work with them over the phone. If they're close, of course, I like to go, and really see the property and interview them and see what's involved and see what the problem is and what needs to be done.
Like you say, with technology, a lot can be done over the phone or even emails. You got photos and these type of things. That's wonderful. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website address. First of all, on the website, you can take a look a little bit more at the experiences that she brings to the table. We're talking about a fascination with holistic earth energy, basically something that she shares many different experiences she has out there. Check out the testimonials on the website as well, and you will see what people have to say about her being able to come in and really transform a space, be it an office space or possibly residential, commercial. We have to understand that the environment it really does affect us, even though we don't understand fully what that means. One of the questions I asked you was the sacred space, which you gave an answer for. You now have really branched out into taking it on the road and basically sacred space travel, where you actually go out there and share these great places. Tell me about that.
Yes, they're actually closer to a pilgrimage because it's not as much of a tour. Here's this space, here's the history, here's this, moving along. It's really teaching people how to use their own perception, their own senses to sense what their relationship is with the place and what they can gain from it, and then bring that back into their homes and lives. And
This isn't a show and tell, it's a show and feel.
It's a transformational journey is what they are, and they're a lot of fun too.
Wonderful. Not only are the sacred spaces, many that we know about, some that you're creating, has this been a rewarding occupation for you? Something that really, the fascination is still there for you like it was back at the beginning?
It just keeps getting better and better.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you enjoy sharing that with folks as well as educating them and kind of seeing the fascination as they grow as well?
The more I do this, the more I want to teach people how to do that themselves and how important that relationship is to have with their spaces and how important it is to honor the earth. And what better place to start than in your own home?
Wonderful. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. Once again, you're going to see her contact information right there. Basically, like she says, she doesn't have to be down the block to do business with you. She can basically work remotely. She can work in many areas. If you would like to take one of these travels with her, you can see on the website as well. Take a look, and she'll keep you apprised of what travels they have coming up. She can send you out a brochure or a flyer on certain places that you can check out. Once again, that is Forces of Nature Design since the year 2000, basically helping you live in harmony with the natural world. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know. We hope we've enticed you to try something new this week. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.